To prop it? Oh, it has to be that way? Oh. You can
Yeah, I can do
it.
Iffy. Why don't I unlock the orientation? How about I do that? How do I do that? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? We are on a time crunch. Ugh. Katie, this is being so frustrating. This is being.
Alright, we need help.
Well, I have to keep it on.
Okay. And this is actually really stable and straight. Straighter than you.
Straighter than me.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, that does.
that might actually completely work.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Maybe not quite straight. Here, hold on.
Well, I have to do it. Oh, that's my phone. Tape it. We're taping it. Get the tape. Tape my phone to this thing. So if you keep it.
Okay.
You're failing me, tape. All right, we just gotta like be insanely close together. What? Okay, there we go. It's just a little wonky. It's good. It's good. It's good.
Hanging on by a thread?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good.
Hanging on by a thread.
It's good. It's good. He's low-key panicking about this.
Hey, hang on thread.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right. Our first official, like, genuinely public recorded episode. Oh. Yeah. Well, I mean, aside from the very first. We have to be like unnaturally close to each other. We have to be like unnaturally close. Wow. Thanks. Love you too.
I'm just gonna keep this in between us as a reminder that Clorox is not sponsoring this episode. Just kidding. As a reminder that I have
But you know what is sponsoring this episode?
nobody. Sweetwater Coffee House.
But also. Oh!
Oh, yeah, but come on, isn't it not only fair after what you do?
I know.
How? I can't hear from the head.
Girl.
Girl.
Can you hear?
No. Try again.
Mm-hmm.
Do one of those creepy things. Okay, yeah, okay, got it. Loud and clear, unfortunately.
Oh, I was soloing this mic so you could only hear from it. Can you hear yourself?
Hello. Yeah.
All right, cool. Hello.
We are in biz now.
Also, I don't have to be there at 2. It's from 9:30 to 4, so I can be there even at like 3:30. I have to be there for at least an hour to get it. So.
Oh, okay. So you got to be there at least by 3
At
for it to
at
be
least by 3.
1
for it to
hour.
be-
All right. Well, you are charging. You are at 13%, and I gotta be uncomfortably close to you. And as much as I love those earrings, they're not visible enough. So
That's fine.
Okay.
You do you, girl.
you
Okay.
do you, boo.
On today's episode
Oh,
of Hanging On by a Thread featuring Stormy and Katie, there's no one watching, but that's fine. I can still publish these.
yeah, exactly. And so you are on. Is this YouTube?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I have gone live on YouTube. So
I didn't even know that you can do that. So we're ahead of the trend.
Wait,
We're ahead of the trend.
We could just back up.
Oh, yeah.
So we don't have to be as close to each other.
Good.
Jesus.
It's not that- no, it's 'cause I'm sick. It's because I am not well
Okay. So
in body and mind.
we're gonna start this episode off with a little news outbreak about a wonderful person named Next Benedict.
Yes.
Why don't you fill us in on this? Because I still need to be filled in.
Yeah. So I pulled up some information. Really terrible. I mean, really terrible tragedy. I'm sure everyone's heard a little bit here and there, but
Everyone's heard a little bit. It's everywhere.
yeah. I mean, first of all, let's just show this beautiful.
They were
really
amazing.
beautiful human. And I don't know this person, but I I don't know that for some reason they look familiar to me, and so it gives like this extra level of
Like I feel like
deep sorrow.
I feel like I know them.
I know, like they look so familiar.
They do.
Just a truly beautiful human. And just a person who, just like everyone, deserves to live their life. So
unfortunately, they couldn't.
yeah. So this story, at least, is entitled "How the Death of a Non-Binary Oklahoma Teenager Has Renewed Scrutiny of Anti-Trans Policies." And so it's I guess the police haven't, released a statement yet on the results of the investigation, but initial public outcry, the consensus seems to be that this person was in one way or another bullied, well, definitely verified to have been bullied because of their gender identity. And this is in the wake of anti-trans policies and political rhetoric over gender identity just recently in Oklahoma specifically. So the death of this 16-year-old non-binary high school student comes in the wake of all of these anti-trans policies, along with the political rhetoric that goes along with it. So I'm reading from the AP Associated Press website, and this story came out on the February 22nd, 2024. Next Benedict identified as non-binary and used they, them pronouns according to their family. Benedict died February 8th. So this story only came out, I think, in the last couple of days, but it looks like they...
Like a week and a half maybe.
Oh, okay. See, I only heard about it just this week. That's interesting. But they passed away actually on February 8th, one day after a fight inside a girls' bathroom at Owasso High School. Police in the Tulsa suburb have not released the cause of death, but said this week that the teenager did not die as a result of injuries from the fight, whereas the initial outcry seemed to be that this person died after a fight broke out. So it's a little contradictory.
Yeah, it's heavily theorized that they died due to like internal bleeding.
I'm questioning.
You're not allowed to silence me.
I know. I feel like mine is going in and out as well, so it'll be interesting to see how the sound is on this. But
yeah, that's fair.
So here's some things to know about Benedict's death and the investigation. There was an altercation in the bathroom on February 7th, and Benedict was taken to a hospital by their family and sent home that night. The next day, paramedics were dispatched to the home for a medical emergency and took Benedict to a hospital emergency room where they later died. Next, Benedict's mother, Sue Benedict, told The Independent that the teen suffered bruises all over their face and eyes in the fight involving a transgender student and 3 older girls. The school district has said the students were in the restroom for less than 2 minutes before the fight was broken up by other students and a staff member. Anyway, so I don't know what to take from this, because I just want to be aware or cautious going into this, that it doesn't end up being one of those things where they take the cause of death as unknown or undetermined for like political reasons or anything. I just think we need to be cautious of that. I think it seems strange that, like, on one hand, I'm reading that they're saying, it's not due to the fight. And then on the other hand, they're saying that that we don't know what the cause of death is yet. So if you don't know what the cause of death is yet, how are you even able to say that it wasn't due to the fight? Like, it's either one or the other, right? Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, yeah, definitely. Like,
if you don't know, then you don't know. And if you don't know, then you can't say definitively, this is not related to the fight. It seems common sense to me. You have a big fight. This kid is covered in bruises, and then the next day they're rushed to the emergency and they're dead.
You can't sit here and like tell public that like, they didn't die because of this fight that broke out. But you also can't be all like, we don't know how they died.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, if you don't know how they died, then how do you know that they didn't die from the fight?
They were rushed to the emergency room 2 times in 2 days, and it wasn't not because they were in the fight.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't because they fell down the stairs and tripped on their shoelaces.
They didn't have appendicitis. Like,
no.
They were incredibly healthy, actually. Like, they died really, really healthy, and they had a wonderful, healthy body.
Mm.
And
well, and this brings up, so this is a tragedy that is tragic in and of itself, right? But when you do look at this death in light of legislation and political rhetoric, specifically in Oklahoma, where this student died, then it takes on a bigger picture issue, really, right?
Yes.
Because, let's say this child, 16-year-old young person, was rushed to the emergency room for bruising and all this, and let's say they survived, which I really deeply wish was the case.
Right, same.
There still should be an outcry.
There should be repercussions.
Because of the legislation, the rhetoric, and the bullying that is taking place. So,
and the fact that these girls received 0 punishment whatsoever for what they did to them. Right,
yeah. Well, and when you have politicians, when you have leaders at a very high level, in the state and in the country, or in the world for that matter, that don't provide a safe space to express your identity, your freedom to just be who you are, are giving power to bullies. And unfortunately, bullyism is going far beyond just words. And when I was young, we used to say sticks and stones, right?
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt
Words
me.
can never harm me. Well, we are at the sticks and stones part. We're very past the words part.
Yeah.
So we are now experiencing the sticks and stones being thrown on top of the harmful words.
Well, but also it's like sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can break my heart.
Absolutely. That needs to be a quote. That needs to be a quote, and that needs to be printed on T-shirts and worn everywhere, because
Absolutely.
it is true. You know, I think wherever that expression or saying even came from, it was probably with the intention of maybe trying to create some resilience in us, because at the end of the day, people are going to be douchebags.
Yep.
People are going to be assholes. And like, let's try to not give them power over us. However, let's also at the same time recognize that, yeah, those words can hurt and can cause harm, and stop taking the blame away from the bullies. Like, stop putting it all back on the victim to find the strength to endure. Like, I'm tired. You know, I'm tired from being beaten down, and you know, I'm speaking, I guess.
No, you're not.
On behalf of those who are being bullied in this case.
But you're also speaking on your own behalf, because you are experiencing that. You've experienced a lot of that, and I've experienced a lot of that. I've been experiencing that my entire life, so it's not even just like, oh, I'm speaking on behalf of these
not
people.
Rhetorical.
We're speaking from experience.
Well, exactly. Like, I want to be clear that, of course, I haven't walked in the shoes of a trans person.
When I said no, you're not, I totally thought you were saying, like, no, when you said, oh, I'm speaking, when I said no, you're not, I thought you were going to say that. Oh, and I don't need to speak on behalf of other people. And I'm like, yes, you do.
Well,
yes, you do.
You know, I guess I just want to be careful. It's like, I want to be a strong ally, but I want to also remain cognizant that I cannot claim to have walked in the shoes of an Indigenous person, you know, a non-binary person, a trans person, right? And so I am speaking not from experience, but from empathy and from an attempt to try to understand as best as I possibly can to be a good advocate, right? But I don't want people to think that I assume or that I know what it's like. I admit that I don't, but as Stormy just mentioned, like, I have experienced a little bit as of late, just as an ally alone. So I've gotten a little taste of perhaps what it can be like to be a visible, you know, target to haters, you know, and bullies and whatnot.
Especially by just simply being an ally. Sorry, you water droplet marks on
Oh, I know. It's terrible. Oh, it is. Well, it's because I used this thing and it was like totally dumb. Totally dumb. Oh, I just got a message from this super awesome, like vibey, Indigenous, gorgeous human that I saw at Natural Grocers the other day. And I was like, hi, you're amazing and I love your vibe. And I want to see if you'd like to be in my sustainable fashion show that I'm doing for Earth Day. And they were very interested in it. So I just saw their message.
When is
me
Earth
back.
Day?
Earth Day is 4/22, but my event is on 4/20. It's a Saturday. Many people do get high on that day. Many people are going to get high on that day. And actually, one of our sponsors for the event is a local dispensary called High Mountain.
I do find that, okay. That is really funny.
Well, it's very apropos. It's very, like, fitting.
Yeah.
It's very fitting. Yeah. I don't know.
Right back. Keep talking about that. I have to grab water.
Oh, well, grab water.
Do you mind if I grab it from upstairs?
Grab from upstairs.
I'm taking my phone so I can get back in.
Take my phone so you can get back in. And you are just going to leave me here.
I know.
So what, is this your YouTube channel or our YouTube channel?
This is my YouTube channel. I haven't made out.
Is it Stormy Baker?
It's Stormy Baker.
Stormy Baker? Maybe I'll just, like, look you up right now. Parched. Stormy is parched. All right, I am going to attempt to find our YouTube channel in this time. I mean, Stormy. So yes, very, very tragic about that beautiful human. All right, we're gonna look up Stormy Baker and see what happens. Stormy Baker. Oh, it comes up as basket. That's cute. Stormy Baker YouTube. Let's see what happens. Stormy Baker is live. Oh, cool. 1 hour ago. That doesn't look like us, but all right. I think I found Stormy Baker. Funny little picture. I don't know about, but all right. Stormy Baker. Subscribe. I don't personally feel that I don't like doing this by myself. I don't know. Stormy is my crutch. Maybe I should use this time to say why I do this. I do this because Stormy inspires me. We did some protests together. Those of you who have watched like our previous segments will already know this, but anyone new to the show, it's one thing to go out there as like I'm going to say like quote unquote privileged ally, adult. I can drive myself is what I mean by like privileged. I'm not like freaking millionaire. I'm not independently wealthy, but you know, it's one thing to go out to these protests and, you know, show up and wave my flags and whatnot. It's another thing, I think, for like a 16-year-old, like either trans or non-binary, you know, otherwise queer teen, young person in this very volatile world that we live in right now, especially here in Montana. Any of my friends or family like in California or New York, or you know, maybe some other progressive places will be like, what are you talking about? But Montana is a different story. So yeah. Anyways, I'm just talking about, I was like, I can't do this without you because you're my crutch. And then I was like, okay, let me maybe take this time to explain why I'm doing this. And I was just talking about how you've inspired me and stuff like that. And yeah, anyways, you can rewind and listen to that later. Bleh.
That's fine.
All right.
No, yeah, I'm going to be watching this later today.
So, but I did find you and I subscribed and I started following you. Okay, so moving along though, and I don't want to move along, but you know, we did want to make sure to start on the story of Next, and it sounds like, you know, the story is going to be evolving, and so we'll have to follow up on the story.
The story is going
next
to
time.
be evolving, changing.
Yeah. Well, as developments come out. So I do want to turn to some announcements. I love that. I will not put that away. Okay, I do want to jump to some announcements before we jump to the paranormal side of things.
Of course.
Because I feel like time flies away from us faster than we can keep track.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to find every Pride event that I could close by. I will start by saying
in Montana. In Montana.
In Montana. I want to start by saying, what the heck is going on with Bozeman? I couldn't find any Bozeman Pride.
So I think Bozeman Pride is combining with Helen Pride.
Okay, that doesn't make any sense to me,
Pride.
but okay.
I don't know. I don't think that it could also be that they haven't released anything.
Probably that's the case. So, by the way, I'm new to life. Okay, let's just pretend I was born yesterday. I was in the womb last year. So it's like right. I'm slowly learning things that many people are probably like, duh. I always thought Pride was always on the same weekend, and I always thought it was always in June. But it just goes to show that like my naivete is like, oh, just because it's going on this weekend where I'm living, my brain
So-
thinks that the whole world is doing it that same weekend.
Pride happens most of the time. Pride happens in June, but a lot of things that 4Q6 and like all of these, a lot of things that Montana does specifically is we do September Pride. And it's a lot of things that a lot of other states do, and it's to show that we can be prideful of ourselves without just doing the day in the month designated to us.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
That was
We're going to beep that out. Okay, so with that said, this is only what I was able to pull up. I actually did contact some organizations asking if they have a more comprehensive list, but just a superficial search. Billings, where we are located, they've announced that their Pride is going to be on June 22nd. So June 22nd, save the date, organized by 406 Pride here in Billings. More details coming soon. The closest to here is Livingston. Livingston, ironically, is doing theirs the same weekend as my Earth Day event. And so that's going to be April 19th is going to be a...
Not the same weekend then. Yes, it is. I'm stupid.
Yeah, no, you're not.
I was thinking it was in March.
Yeah, April 19th is going to be a drag show Friday night, and I just saw some of their Livingston drag performers here in Billings last weekend.
Oh, I can
and they're phenomenal.
I can do some of my own drag there.
Absolutely, yeah. So on April 19th is going to be the drag show Friday night in Livingston for their Pride weekend. And then on April 20th, which is Saturday, is going to be a family show, all ages. And then there's going to be another drag show that night, and that's going to be the 21 plus. So Friday and Saturday, and I love that. I love the idea of doing a 2-day thing or an all weekend thing or whatever. But anyway,
well, we do Pride. We not only do we do Pride Week, but we also do Pride. Like we do Pride Month, but we also do Pride Week here.
Yeah. Well, so it's interesting that Livingston is doing theirs in April. So Livingston is going to be the soonest one that I know of and the closest one that is not in Billings.
United in Pride.
So hold on, I'm getting there, babe.
Sorry.
You're jumping the gun. You're jumping the gun.
I'm intrigued.
Okay, so we have the soonest one and the closest one, which is April, and that's in Livingston. Then we have the next one up that I found, which is in Missoula. And that is in on June 14th to 16th. So that's a whole weekend, June 14th through 16th in Missoula. Then the following weekend is going to be Billings, June 22nd.
Okay.
And then I thought Casper, Wyoming, let's give them a little shout out as well. And theirs actually is June 6th through 9th.
That's strange. Usually Pride isn't that early.
Right? But that's what I love. We have it all sprinkled out throughout the course of like basically April on. I feel like April 20th, 420 weekend is going to be the kickoff of Pride in this area.
Probably.
I think because if we all make it out Livingston, well, I'm not going to because I'm going to be having my Earth Day event. But for those who are going to Livingston that weekend.
I don't think I'll be able to go to Pride soon.
In June? Do you have a competition?
Yeah, Nationals is 16th through the 21st, and we're flying back on the 22nd.
16th through the 21st. So you are going to probably miss Missoula, but you can go to Livingston.
I can't go to ours, but I might be able to go to Livingston. No, I'm going to the
and Casper.
Sustainable
Billings.
And I don't think I'd be able to go to the Casper one because that's too far away.
Damn. Okay, so we need Bozeman to step up. And where else? And I looked up Helena. I did not find one in Helena yet. So Bozeman and Helena probably haven't announced theirs yet.
Yeah.
Who else in Montana can we count on to do a Pride, do you think? Like what other cities, towns, neighborhoods, villages, communities?
Kalispell.
Oh, oh my God. I was like, isn't that Wyoming? Oh, okay. Kalispell. Kalispell, really?
I'm pretty sure they do a big Pride thing every year. They do one of the biggest prides in Montana.
Really?
I think so.
Okay, Kalispell, if you are out there.
I could be hella wrong.
You could be Kalispell wrong.
I'm editing this right now.
If you edit that out, I'm definitely editing out every burp you have ever done on air.
I'm doing that regardless.
Thank God. Okay, it'll be like a birdie. Can you make it a birdie sound instead? There you go. What is this? This is a button. Oh, that is called upcycling, by the way. That is, like, I swear to God, I'm not even joking. That constitutes as upcycling.
This does constitute upcycling. This
With
is a
that
button. This is a button that I stole from my textiles and design class.
Oh my God.
Anywho.
See? Yeah. Anywho.
We have
What else do we have? Tell me.
a little bit of paranormal.
We have paranormal.
Okay, moving on to the stormy section of everything.
Yes.
If you could unlock your phone so I could get the story.
Okay. I was just trying to decide if we wanted to do a little true life horror first, or do we?
What's true life? What?
This is the asshole. But
That's that
maybe
motherfucker?
I don't know if we want to. If he gives me the creeps, like he gives me fucking nightmares. You know, it's like I don't even.
If you don't want to put a stick it is entirely your comfortability. So, for a little summary, without giving too much, Katie.
Yeah, I mean no, but.
Well, I know. Are you okay?
My heart is broken.
A little bit of explanation.
Sure. Yeah.
For context, without spilling too much.
Mm-hmm.
Katie has received a lot of online threats from someone, and this person recently got arrested because she was the bravest bitch ever and filed a restraining order.
What?
Oh, it's that other person.
Yeah.
And that's not amazing.
No, he's still here. Clanking.
She filed a restraining order on him, and he got arrested for violating it. And so I'm really proud of you for doing that.
Thanks.
Like I'm really, really proud of you.
Thank you, darling.
But also I can't find Google Docs.
Oh, here. Pull down and then type in DOC. There you go. And then it'll come up.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, this individual has not only violated my order protection, but he's violated order protection against actually another friend of mine as well. And we both have our orders of protection against him for quite very different reasons. In her case, it's because he has continuously delusionally professed his love to her, and they've never even met in person. In fact, the hearing on just yesterday morning was the first time she had ever seen him or heard his voice. So they don't even know each other. He just knows of her.
Oh.
And she's had to file this basically like stop bugging me, stop harassing me kind of situation. Yeah. That's right. I don't know if anyone could hear that other than our headphones. But it is just creepy, like real life horror. So this guy's a lunatic. The police arrested him, and when they did, they found he had a loaded pistol next to his side.
Oh my God.
2 magazines and 2 cases full of like I guess hundreds of bullets or something. And it was in plain view of the front window of his house on a table next to his armchair that he was sitting in. So this guy who has called me the enemy and says he's in enemy territory, he's acting like as if this is a war zone. And this is after he'd been ordered to have his weapons removed and confessed to killing his mother. So that's real life horror for you all. This is an individual who unfortunately lives here in Billings and who I hope will stay in jail for a long time. And that is going to be our uncomfortable segue to the paranormal. Stormy, take it away.
Before we do that, I'm going to say this.
Oh, gosh.
I'm not going upstairs, but I'm going to refill it.
There is, I was going to say there's a kitchen right here. Kitchen? Yep. Girl. Gosh. Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. Put me on the spot. I'm like instant terrified as soon as Stormy walks out of the door. And not because I'm afraid of ghosts, but because I'm afraid of that. I am afraid of cameras, and for some reason Stormy gives me the courage to get in front of this scary seeing eye that's staring back at me. Why does Stormy do what they do in regards to the paranormal? Of course they can tell you better than I can, but to my best knowledge, and this is sort of what I tell people when I tell them about the podcast, is that Stormy has a connection with the spirit realm, excuse me, and the paranormal realm, as far as entities, beings, spirits, ghosts that are amongst us. So whereas there might be some ghosts, for lack of a better word, in this room, hanging out, maybe even sitting on my lap right now. I don't even know. And I wouldn't know. I can't see them. I can't interact with them. I can't hear them or feel them. But Stormy does. And so, and because we both realize that we have this connection about like the paranormal, and I love stuff like this. Like I love them as stories, not just for entertainment, but because although I don't have that experience, I believe people who do have those experiences, right? And so it's almost like I get an eye into their world by hearing their stories. And so that is my explanation as to why you do what you do. There's little ghosts inside of Stormy's water in the form of molecules.
Mineral particles.
Mm-hmm. So you can rewind and you can edit and chop what my description that I just gave.
Yeah, totally.
But I think I did an okay job. Oh, okay.
So
So I gave my background of what you do and why you do it.
my biggest thing, the reason I wanted to kind of start this is because I have been a very firm believer in the paranormal for my entire life. And my whole thing is I want to let people know that this shit is real. Like that ghosts aren't real, ghosts are real. Ghosts are real and I can see them.
Right.
And that is my biggest, like, I want to put that out there, the fact that this is real. This is an actual thing that happens, that does happen, that has happened, that's been a thing for all of eternity. And I want to put that out there, and I want to share my experiences, and I want other people to have their experiences shared.
Mm-hmm. Which I think is really cool. And it looks like you have received a story
And
to
I
share.
have received a little bit of a story to
I
share.
love
I'm
that.
going to actually
And I think we mentioned this before, but a friend, Nikki Todd, who has the Tiki Nodcast,
love her.
was we were talking to Nikki back when she was first talking about starting her podcast about the paranormal here in Montana, and talking about true ghost stories and paranormal experiences in Montana. And so I reached out to Stormy, CANELOPE. Oh. What is this? Oh.
Why did I spell it the same incorrect?
But you already had it pulled up.
I did, but I have
Okay. Well, anyways, just got lost in the admin side of things, but yeah. So when I heard that Nikki was getting ready to do that podcast, I started asking friends and realized there were a lot of people here that have some very interesting experiences, one of which is Stormy, and therefore Stormy knows other people who also have cool stories and experiences to tell from the Montana side of things.
So the first, I have received two stories. One is much longer than the other, and one is kind of shorter one first. The shorter one is from my wonderful boyfriend. His name is Joey.
Hi, Joey.
And I am doing something called.
Oh, that's who we chatted with. Hi, Joey
Caldwell.
Caldwell. I was like, Caldwell.
Anywho, he sent in a small little email of an experience, and I thought it was a little crazy. Not crazy, not like he's crazy, but I thought it was
We're all a little crazy.
I
Crazy in the
thought,
way of like, whoa, that's crazy,
yeah, I
dude.
thought this was a
Like that.
realistic story.
Uh huh.
So he wrote, "Hi, my name is Joey, and I have a parenting experience for you." So
I was bothered.
when I was 2, my father passed away, and like a month or two later, my mother left the room for a bit to make food. She told me she heard me talking to someone from the other room. So she peeked around the corner and asked who I was talking to, and I said, "Daddy." My mom told me this a couple weeks ago, and I didn't know if she was telling the truth, and I really
Oh, daddy. Oh, that's really sweet. Yeah, that really is. Because, when we're younger, we are like the most innocent and the most pure and the most unfiltered, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
You are,
so,
as a small little baby child, you are most susceptible to the other side.
yeah, you don't have outside influences telling you to doubt what you are seeing or hearing or experiencing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're your truest, purest self. Yeah, that's really cool, Joey. Um, yeah, that really is. It really is.
Following up on that, another person emailed me, and this is a good friend of mine, and she wanted to kind of share his experience. And this is from Sebastian Mona. Uh, he he wrote, "First of all, I would like to thank Stormy for asking for my story. I'm a huge fan of the paranormal and do a little investigating myself when I have the time. That being said, I have encountered some interesting and unexpected things. I have always believed in the past. I grew up watching Courage the Cowardly Dog, Scooby Doo, and Ghost investigation shows with my mom, such as Ghost Adventures and The Dead. I've also I've also had some pretty weird experiences growing up, and it ranges on a scale of weird noises and creepy dreams to things flying off tables and visual manifestations of what would otherwise not be there. Though I have multiple stories that I could share with you, there's only one that has really stuck with me. My mom's house is a mystery. I don't really know anything about it other than it has been built onto the old roof, other than it has been built onto. The old roof being visible from the attic, and that there had been a couple NFL coaches who had used it. My mother claims that nothing has really happened in that house, nor is there any spiritual energy besides that of the living. But I can say otherwise. It's when you're alone in that house that you can really sense it. Like there's somebody watching. Maybe it was just 12-year-old me being paranoid. You get human.
Mm.
I don't know. But I've had multiple times that I knew I was alone, yet I still saw shadows and heard footsteps. The footsteps were always quiet and at a normal pace. I remember that there had been a couple times where I'd carry a small kitchen knife around the house with me until a parent or my stepsister got me. Even though my experience while I was home alone was pretty scary, it was when people were home that the activity seemed to be more. It was 2 a.m. I was doom scrolling on my phone, laying in bed as I was planning to go to sleep about 3 hours early. Yeah, I wrote that. My stepsister was out spending the night at a friend's house, and my mom and stepdad were asleep downstairs. Suddenly, I heard this loud stomping up the stairs, 12 steps for each stair. They were fast, like somebody was running up. There were a few additional steps before they stopped right in front of my closed door. I paused the video on my phone and looked at my door expectantly. Nobody knocked, nor did it open. It's silent.
That is a little creepy.
I called out, not super loud. Hello? There was a small silence before I heard most of it.
Mm.
The same as my stepsister did any time she knocked on my door, and then I heard her bedroom door open. I figured that maybe my stepsister came home early, as she does once in a while, but something was off. I got up and walked out of my room to go talk to her. I got up and I walked out of my room to go talk to her. The hallway light was on. The door was open. I opened the door and turned on the light, only to find she was not there. I was outside to see if her collar was on. Shaking my hand, I simply turned down the hallway light and went outside, closing the door behind me and taking it upstairs. I don't know how long I stayed awake, but it was long enough that the sky turned a dark shade of blue before I finally closed. When my stepsister came back home that day, I asked her if she stopped by the house at all during the night. She said no, that she had been at her friend's house. So, I still don't know who or what was in that house that night, but I know that it wasn't
Mm.
when they wrote. Once again, thank you for asking my story. I hope it works for your podcast. Let me know if you ever want any more stories from me. I promise to fill out all 100.
Nice, Sebastian.
That
That was
is
really, really cool.
kind of insane.
Also, like, oh, 18 years old, you said?
18.
Okay, so do you know their pronouns? He has great writing style. I will just say that first of all. You know,
He has a
um,
wonderful
he's a good storyteller. And yeah, I would definitely love to hear more of your stories. But my brain is sticking on why 12 steps per stare. What is that all
Yeah.
about? Like, and also, how do you even count 12?
Well, I think no. I think that's saying
Steps
like
per stare.
the staircase had 12.
Oh, 12 steps per stare. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
So what I'm
I was
imagining is
like,
there's like what I'm imagining is there's like 1, 2, and then it's like
mm,
12, 12.
I see. Oh my god. Okay.
But that's
See,
terrifying.
if your brain gets stuck on a really trivial detail like that, and in my brain I'm like, this is the most erratic ghost ever, and also OCD that they have to do 12 steps each
But
stair.
also, he's really OCD because he's counting the amount of steps that the
How
ghost
do
is
you
taking.
right? And were they like slow enough? Like I would have lost track. Sorry,
What I
Sebastian. I'm
think
gonna have to do a reread of that one so that I can not think.
what was happening is there was someone. He was sitting in his room watching TikTok, and he footsteps running up these stairs, and 12 steps to each step. So it's like, and so it's like, it's very obvious. And then there's a couple steps. It's stopping.
Right. That. And just knowing what is to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so he stops,
Mhm.
goes, hello? And then he hears the door of his sister's room open. And then he's like, oh, I'm going to go talk to her. Gets out, no, goes back in his room, stays up late at night, and then when he wakes up, finds his sister in the morning, asks her, hey, did you happen to come home at all last night? No, I was in the penthouse. Why?
Mhm.
No.
Now I wonder if this is one of those things where is this like it just makes me automatically curious about his other experiences. If it's a case where he has experiences like this everywhere he goes, even on like camping trips or sleepovers, or if it's specific to this house only.
Yeah.
Have you now? How do you know Sebastian? Did you just know him, like,
I met him my freshman year,
Mhm.
and we dated for about 8 months.
Oh, okay.
And then we broke up, and then we took some time apart another year just to
Nice.
this is the
Cool. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So I would be curious about his other experiences, and is is this location specific or person specific? You know, like are you haunted? Is your house haunted?
especially since
Or you just in tune? And if it wasn't your sister, who is it? Why were they mimicking your sister's way of popping on your
oh yeah,
doors?
and
No.
it's also especially if since no one else really in the house has noticed anything happen.
Yeah.
He said like, oh, mom always told me that nothing was in the house, but I beg to differ. Could it have been less of something was in the house and more so something was with you?
Exactly. Yeah.
So something, of course, if it was with you, it would be in the house, but Do you think it did more so rather than someone was in the house with everyone, rather than someone was in the house with you?
Mm.
Do you think it's possible? How you thought of it? And of course, yeah, of course, again, I'd have to hear a lot more stories, especially
Right.
pertaining to this house, too.
Yeah,
'Cause if
exactly. Are there more experiences in this house, or does Sebastian experience things kind of like everywhere he goes?
Yeah, I know that Sebastian has a very, very strong connection to the spirit world,
Mhm.
and I know that he does a lot of he's a kiosk in the city,
Mm.
and I know that he has had a lot of experiences. Like when I first met him, he was so close
Mm.
over at West.
Oh my God. Wow. Yeah, that is really cool.
So it's
That kind of thinks with something that my boyfriend was talking about a couple of weeks ago, I think it was. Like, why are people automatically scared of ghosts? Because I feel like I very rarely hear of ghosts actually doing anything to people. I mean, that's one of those cases that's very scary and very terrifying.
yeah,
Have something choking you that you can't see, and therefore you can't fend yourself off from them. But for the most part, I feel like most ghost encounters are just sightings. And like, okay, yeah, it's a ghost, but like other than that, why are people getting so scared about it?
so it's that
They're
thought
not
of
doing anything
it's
to
that
you.
thought of object permanence.
Hmm.
So if you're unfamiliar with object permanence,
Unfamiliar.
unpleasant.
Oh, yeah.
It's a thought that everything in the world, this
Yeah.
is permanent. We can see it, we can feel it, we can throw it, we can interact with it.
Mhm.
See, like,
And it's over there.
and
And
it's
the
over there, and we know
reliability.
that it's over there.
Because if it was all of a sudden gone, that would freak us out.
Yeah,
But why?
because our brains are wired to know, like,
Hmm.
to know what the world around us is, and if
Interesting.
something is like, if something was here and then it wasn't,
Right.
it's that adjustment. And
Uh-huh.
because our brains don't know how to adjust
Yeah.
properly, it responds to fear and
It's
anxiety, and
it's an
it starts
evolutionary
rushing.
thing.
Yes,
Right.
it's a self-defense
Yeah.
because
We have to
hello,
know that's Danny.
hello, I heard, hang on. I heard coming from
Oh, yeah.
fine.
No, but that actually makes a lot of sense. That evolutionary defense mechanism of object permanence, like knowing what your surroundings are,
Yeah,
and therefore how to defend against them and stuff like that, and
and
protect
so
your tribe.
yeah, it's the fact that like those things happen and they're out of the normal for what our brains are wired.
Exactly. Is that something we need to pay attention to?
Yep.
Well, Stormy dear, we are getting to the tail end. Do you want to share with us a
Fun fact of the day. This is kind of like a fact and a joke in and of itself.
specific
Fun fact of the week.
fun fact of the week?
February 29th is National Jumping Day because it's the leap day.
Ah, oh, do we have a 29th this year?
You know what the leap is.
Oh! So, I want to know if we know anyone who was born on February 29th, and what is
The
that like for them?
the receptionist at my school for Sunday.
Oh gosh. Hi
So he's
Joseph
turning.
Caldwell.
Hi Joey. He's turning.
4 years old,
He'd be turning
aka
6.
okay. So like some years is their birthday on the 28th or March 1st.
So to my knowledge, what she's told me is that she usually just celebrates it on the 20th.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. I'd have to ask him about it.
Well, here's another fun fact. The Argentinian dance company is going to have a show called Malevo at Alberta Bear Theater on
Ooh.
Thursday the 29th, and it's Leap Day or Jump National Jump Day,
National Jumping.
and I bet the Argentinians will be doing a lot of jumping and leaping across the stage at the Alberta Fair. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I love that.
Anywho, that concludes today's episode of Hanging On by a Thread with Stormy and Katie. Thank
That's
you so much for
me.
hopping in, even though no one hopped in, but it's fun.
You will hop in later.
Yeah.
Better
This-
late
well,
than
this
never.
is going to be posted on my channel. So,
You're welcome.
thank you so much
The
for
things
hopping
we
in.
do
Thank
for
you.
you all. You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much for tuning in.
Happy
And
leap year.
happy leap year. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Drive safe, wear your seatbelt. And
Look out for each other. Be safe, one way or another.
goodbye, guys, gals,
Goodbye.
and gender neutral.
And everyone in between. I love that, guys, gals, and gender neutral pals.
Well, there's this YouTuber, his name is Thomas Sanders, and he just videos of guys out from Montana.
I love that.
Anywho,